So I've got some fairly bad news. As you saw in the beginning of the video, I was taking my intake manifold off. I was doing that because when I was driving the car the other day with the new radiator cap, I developed a leak under the intake manifold. I assumed I just had a bad O-ring, and once it got up to pressure for the first time, it blew one of those O-rings out, and I was just going to replace it. But what I figured out when I pulled the cap off the cooling system, and it still had a bunch of pressure in it after sitting for over 24 hours, is that I had a blown head gasket. That sucked pretty bad, and I thought about it. The next day, went out, bought some head gaskets, and last night I was gonna go insane, stay up all night, get the head gaskets done. Today is Saturday, tomorrow is the track day. So today I was gonna test drive the car once the head gaskets were done. So it was all going good. I was pulling stuff apart, we were making good time, and one of the head bolts decided to snap off inside the block. And I have done so many freaking Subaru engines, head gaskets and stuff, because that's common on them. Never had a head bolt snap like that. On the EJ22, the head bolts are actually external to the valve cover, so you don't have to pop the valve cover off to get to these. And I think what happened is normally they never get rusty because they're inside the valve cover, but these ones are on the outside, so this one was super rusty. This isn't the broken one, obviously, but it snapped off inside the head. There's no way I'm getting it out. Even if once I get the engine out, it's gonna be a giant pain to try to get that thing out. And I'm probably gonna have to take it to a machine shop if I ever want it out. My option is a new engine. Today's Saturday, it's like 11, and I'm working on taking my engine out. My dad has been a huge help, so thank you, Dad. He is actually on his way right now to go pick up an engine. I found one for 200 bucks. It is a running engine. That's why I like these EJ22s. They're dirt cheap. And I'm just gonna stuff it in there. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna pop it in there as is, because that is gonna be the most simple way to make it work. I'm working on getting it out right now. I have the axles out, I have the timing belt off, one of the heads is off, obviously. All of the hoses and lines and cables are all disconnected already. So really, now that I have the axles out, I can start lowering the engine cradle out of the car and pulling the engine off of the cradle itself. So I'm gonna get to work. I'm not gonna film a ton of this. This is like, on the wire shit. So I'm gonna go get to work. Engine and training are out. It's snowing, as you can see, which is gonna be great track day weather tomorrow. It'll probably be 70 degrees tomorrow though, to be real. But this is out. Just need to get these separated. My dad's like 15 minutes away with the new engine. So yeah, better get this out and get the flywheel off it so we can just start throwing that one in as soon as he gets here. That was easy. My dad thinks I'm too messy, so he bought a bunch of floor dry to clean up while we're working on the car. But he's here, got the engine back there. It's sitting on the edge of the tailgate and strapped on so it doesn't fall off. But we're just gonna pull the drain plug out of it and the oil filter off so we can drain the oil out of it. And then we're gonna slap the oil pan on. We're gonna put the alternator and brackets on. We're gonna put the flywheel and clutch on. And then hopefully we can hook it up to the training right here and the mounts and everything and shove it back in the engine bay. So let's see how this goes. Hopefully this engine doesn't fall on us when we're trying to drain the oil out of it. So we'll have to lift it up and probably scoot it back a little bit. Alright, we got the engine completely back together. We got the flywheel on, the oil pan's on, everything's ready to go, so I guess we're gonna shove it onto the transmission and try to start getting it back into the car.
Forward a little bit. Like that. We're gonna stick on there. Just set it down.
Wedged up against it.
It's got to go. Yeah, it's all up.
6.5 hours later.
In case you can't tell, the car's running. Sorry, throttle's a little sticky. Feels a little different. We bled the cooling system and everything, and it seems to be good. It seems to be holding temp, I guess. So we're taking it for a cruise, see if it stays cold.